Hi, I'm Dwight De Leon for Rappler, and you're currently tuned in to our social media channels. Douglas Emhoff, the husband of U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris, visited a school here in Caloocan, one of Metro Manila's most populous cities, as a part of their jam-packed itinerary as the couple will be here in the Philippines until tomorrow, Tuesday. Emhoff, or the Second Gentleman, graced an event on the safe reopening of schools here in the Philippines amid the lingering threat of the COVID-19 pandemic. It was only earlier in November when public elementary and high schools in the Philippines went back to the full or traditional 5 days of in-person classes a week. 2 years since the COVID-19 pandemic, brought the country's education sector, among many other things, to a standstill. Emhoff was joined by Caloocan Mayor Along Malapitan and the acting Philippine Health Chief Maria Rosario Vergeire, who's been essentially the face of the country's coronavirus response since 2020. In Emhoff's speech, he announced an additional $5 million in funding from the Biden administration coursed through the USAID to help the Philippines accelerate its COVID-19 vaccination rollout. Specific details of that financial boost have yet to be provided. Emhoff boasted that the USAID has already donated $51 million in total to the Philippine government's COVID-19 response. Of course, for context here, one of the primary challenges is making sure that these vaccines will not be wasted and will be jabbed in people's arms. For context, DOH records or Health Department records back in August showed that there were 20.6 million wasted vaccine doses, accounting for expired vaccines and operational wastage. After the program, Emhoff went to one of the classrooms here in the school for a brief meet and greet session with the pupils. He handed storybooks on tuberculosis that were provided by the USAID, and also present in that meet and greet session were the children who were the inspiration behind the book. Emhoff said that the USAID has already donated a total of $131 million to the Philippines to fight tuberculosis. As we have said earlier, Vice President Kamala Harris and her husband Doug will be here in the Philippines until tomorrow, Tuesday. They arrived here on Sunday from Bangkok as part of their week-long trip to the Southeast Asian region. This is Doug's second time to visit the Philippines. He was just here a few months back in June to represent the United States in the inauguration of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. So meanwhile, this is VP Kamala Harris' first time to visit or to set foot in the country. And it's the first time in 5 years that either the President or the Vice President of the United States has come here to the Philippines. Remember, it was in 2017 when then U.S. President Donald Trump came here to the Philippines to meet with then Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte. Kamala's visit indicates that the U.S. is aiming to reignite its ties with the Philippine government amid the growing influence of China in the Asia-Pacific region. In fact, tomorrow, Tuesday, the U.S. Vice President will be flying to Palawan Island to meet with members of the Philippine Coast Guard. For context, Palawan sits at the edge of the West Philippine Sea in the South China Sea, where Beijing is claiming sovereignty over virtually all of the ever-important territorial waters, which are rich in natural resources. China, if you remember, does not recognize the 2016 Hague ruling, which basically sided with the Philippines and rejected China's expansive claims in the South China Sea. Harris is expected to make a speech underscoring the importance of rule of law and freedom of navigation in the territorial waters. So, Emhoff answered a few questions in a press conference after the program earlier this morning. and it's following a learning session with the pupils. And we asked him about the importance of affirming the ties between the Philippines and the United States. And he said that Kamala will be in Palawan to quote, talk about the environment, to see the fishermen, to meet with the Coast Guard. There's a lot of reasons for going, but we are so grateful to be here. That's what Dog Emhoff said in the press conference earlier this morning. So Rappler is closely following the U.S. Vice President's visit here in the Philippines. So continue to stay tuned via our website and the social media channels for more updates. From Caloocan, I'm Dwight De Leon.